All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight we have Jiazhen Zhu, who's going to be presenting about Python modularization using Docker, all sorts of really cool tech and stuff. I met him through, well, I found one of his articles while I was troubleshooting something for Cassandra, basically how to speed up some of my retrievals. And I liked the material that he would write about. And so I saw that he was also local to the area. He's outside of DC, so I figured I would invite him to come and talk because I liked his material. He seemed like a thought leader, someone who would be good for our meetup. So yeah, without further ado, Jiazhen, go ahead and, it's all yours.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hi everyone. So my name is Jiazhen Zhu. So I'm the ML engineer lead and data engineer at Walmart Global Tech around 2 years. And before the Walmart, I am the data engineer and data scientist at the NETE solution for more than 5 years. And it's before I come to the US, I am the software engineer at the CitiBank. So yeah, just a little about me. And yeah, my name is pronounced as Jiazhen Zhu. So today, I want to talk about something like the modularization using Python and Docker. I mean, for the data and ML pipeline. So I mean, for no matter for the data engineer part or for the ML pipeline part. So we have a lot of the pipeline. So for data. And the challenges. So why I'm thinking about it? So because in the daily work, I have a couple of challenges when I dealing with the data pipeline and ML pipeline. So the first one and the most important and key one is like the monolithic or microservice. So when we build the pipeline, it will become when we build pipeline and we add more features into our current pipeline, the pipeline will become very big and bigger than before. So the question for me is like, how can we split the monolithic pipeline into a couple of small microservice pipeline? So when we have like the big pipeline, or when we from scratch we have like the requirement, how can we build it? So that's the first point for me. The next one is like the reusable components. So how can, because we know that for example, for the microservice, the high level maybe Docker and the low level maybe function. So there are a lot of their code we can reuse. So especially for Python, so it's very friendly for package. So how can we reuse our code or microservice across the team or even the organization? So the next one is optimization. So this part for me is like we have like for the whole project, we have like a couple of different pipelines. And especially we have the resource. So for some of the pipeline, maybe like you need to take more resource to speed up. Maybe for others, pipeline is small pipeline, so we can reduce the resource. So how can we optimize the pipeline separately? So this is another one. So the next one is testing. So we have like a testing, unit testing, whatever for our pipeline to make sure our pipeline is stable. So how can we like make our test our pipeline more effectively? The next one is the deployment. So we all know from the dev for the QA to production. So we have a lot of different stages. So how can we like deploy our code or pipeline? We don't worry about it. It definitely can work. It will not be impacted by the environment. Okay, so this another point is another challenge when I working on daily work. The last one is the improvement. So we know that so from scratch we build the pipeline, we build our project from end to end, and maybe for next year we have new tech. Okay, we have new tech stacks. So maybe we want to replace one of them into our current project. How can we do it easily? So this is another point I want to cover. So yeah, this is 6 challenges I'm facing in the daily work. maybe they have more, but this is the key point. Currently, I'm looking at it, how to solve it. So the next one is like the solution. So now all of them is like open source or the basic knowledge. So tech stacks, I want to combine them together. And before that, I want to present each of them and see why I choose it, what the benefit we can get from each of them. So the first one is functional programming. So the function programming is like the processing, the building software by composing pure function. So then we can avoid the shared status, mutable data, and the side effect. So like for the pure function programming, because we don't have like the shared status, so we just have the import parameters and the output return. It's easier for us to do the unit testing because we just import it and test what the result it is. So it's easier for us. And also the functional programming, easier help us to split one monolithic programming into a couple of small functions. The small function maybe is like the small node, or maybe like a small pipeline. So the next one is DAG. DAG is the short name for the directed cycle graph. If someone used Airflow before, maybe it's very familiar with the DAG. So the DAG, this one is the relation between the variables. The variable here maybe is node in the graph. So if we use DAG, we can have like clear data lineage. Okay, we know, I mean, especially for the Airflow, we know, okay, what the lineage between different nodes. Even in the graph, we can see it. And because the DAG, we can have like a small data pipeline. The next one is like the Python package, project package. I mean, this one is like the everyone used Python should be very familiar with it, because when you import the package, okay, this is the one of them. So it's the library for the project. So when we use it, we can, I mean, so for this one, I want to mention is like we don't just use the other library. Maybe we can push our own library to the community. So this can easier us for sure reuse the model. I mean, in the whole community, and even because we can have the one entry point for our pipeline. So for this part, maybe for one entry point, maybe not very clear for now, but don't worry. In the next section for demo, I will cover it. And the next one is Docker. I mean, the Docker is the light for the VM, and it's like a set of platform and a service product that use OS level. So, but it's super light. So when we use Docker, we can optimize each data pipeline in one separate environment, or couple of the pipeline in separate environment. And also Docker help us to easier deploy and monitor for each pipeline. The last one is Yakron. This is modern Chrome's replacement that is Docker friendly. So I mean, when we use it, because we are using Docker, so this one is Docker friendly, and we can schedule batch or even the mini batch process. I mean, maybe that means the mini batch is second or couple of minutes or 1 hour or once for 1 day. For this library, we can do it without any issues. Yeah, this is the 5 tech I will cover in the next graph here. So this is the framework. And especially when I working on the data pipeline or even ML pipeline, I will use them. So the top and the bottom, those are the Docker Hub and the Python package index. I mean, Docker Hub, we can push our Docker image to Docker Hub. I mean, so we can use it. The community use it. Everyone can use it. And for the package is also, I mean, so you can push your package, and everyone else can use not just maybe not whole package, but some part of the function in your package. So you can see here, like we have a couple of Docker. So like the what I mentioned before, for example, we have a whole huge project. Okay, maybe we have like 10 pipelines. I mean, it's based on the requirement or based on the resource, we can separate like 3 pipelines here, 2 pipelines here, 3 pipelines here. So we can separate them into different Docker based on the requirements. I mean, the outside is the Docker, okay, like the container, and we contain everything. I mean, for this pipeline here, couple pipeline even. And also we have the Python project package. Instead of the Python project package, we have the DAG, like the DAG and data lineage. Okay, we link different nodes using the DAG. And the node, what I mentioned here, we are using the function programming. I mean, maybe each node is function, then we can link them together. So in this kind of framework, like we can easier for do the testing. Okay, unit testing, because each node is function, be easy for testing, and we can split our whole project into couple small piece of the pipeline, and yeah, couple of benefit. What I mentioned before, we can have them here. So the next one is I want to present some example. I mean, based on the framework, some example. Okay. So the first one we can see here, data streaming. Okay, we want to get some data. We want to get some streaming data from Twitter API. Okay, we can build some the microservice based on the framework. So after building the Twitter streaming microservice, current microservice here is like Docker image or Docker container. We can deploy it to the Docker Hub, and then others can use it. And maybe we have like some config file. They just need to update some config file, and they can this microservice can meet all the requirements for them. For example, the filters, what kind of filters for Twitter they want, the username, password. Okay, those information can be put into the config file and everything else that's there. And they can get the whole Docker image from Docker Hub. The next one is like the pub/sub for BQ function package. Pub/sub is like the Kafka in the GCP. GCP is the global Google Cloud Platform, and we can create some function. I mean, for function for create and push the customized function package, which can be replaced Dataflow. Dataflow also is like the toys in the GCP. And we just need to push it to the Python package and the pip install it. Sorry. The next one is the test split. Means like I mentioned, because we have small function and text, it's easier for us to split text into server develops after design. So because we are using the Docker, we split the whole project into a couple of small pipelines. So maybe one of the developer can take care of the maybe 3 or 2. It means because this functional and they just need to take care of the import and output, so they don't have like the dependency with each other. So it's easier for the test speed. The next one is like the machine learning model. For example, after we create, we have the best model, okay, before, but after we create a new deep learning model, what we need to do is just replace model, like replace a function. So it will not impact the whole pipeline. And the next one is like on-premise for GCP, or even like the AWS migration or Azure migration. We are using Docker, so it's easier for us to deploy it on different platforms. And it's for some of the new tech stacks. So for example, for TensorFlow, TensorFlow is the machine learning library. So TensorFlow, like from 1.0 to 2.0, it's a huge difference. Maybe we need to update some code, and because we are using functional programming, so easier for us to just replace some function and test it. It will not impact the whole pipeline. So yeah, this is a couple of example. Yeah, the next one I want to present some demo, which is like the include all the information, but very basic pipeline. And this pipeline is just like the ETL pipeline for reading CSV, clean data, and generate the metrics and output CSV. So I will go through one by one and to see. Yeah, this is code. This is the whole project. Okay. We have a couple of the folder here. I mean, under one folder, we have like the config data demo. Demo is the main folder for the Python code. And like the C code, we can, and for C code here, we have testing. And we have cron tab, like which I mentioned just now. We can, schedule the times here. We have like Docker files. We have like the requirement.txt is like just like the pip install. We have the set up the py. This one is for the set up py, set up the configs, and the version of py is for the Python package index. Yeah, I give the one things here like a demo. Inside demo, we have the like a help function. This pipeline is like the, and the pipeline is like, this is kind of small, a DAG. That means one, we don't want to use Airflow. This is small DAG. So we can use, okay, this pipeline. So like the function, like the class. And the main function is the utility, I mean, just the utility function, okay? So you can put whatever here, like a get data, you can like the deduplicate data, like the generate the metrics. It's easier for us to do the testing because it's the pure functional function of pure functional programming. So, and like the print demo. So the next one, the main point here is like the workflow. The workflow here is like we're using the pipeline from the pipeline.py. And we can see here, like we have 4 tasks. We have 4 nodes or 4 pure function. So like the get data, clean data, get metrics, and the save metrics. We are using the pipeline here to combine them together. For example, this is our first node, get raw data, and the clean data is dependent on the get raw data. They can have like communication between each other. I mean, for example, we are returning the data frame, okay? In the clean data, we will import the data frame. I mean, this import is from the this output. And also we have get metrics, the same, the data frame will be passed to here if you want. And we have same metrics and just same metrics to the CSV. And this is our main function. Okay, this is the whole workflow. This is our main function. The main function, the point here is like the pipeline.run. Okay, when this is the code to trigger the whole function here. When we trigger it, the pipeline will run. So, and another things I want to cover is like here, the setup.py. This is the code which we can like the one entry point. This part is like the demo.workflow, and the demo workflow is the code is like a demo workflow and the function here. That means after we pip install all the information here, and we just need to import the demo. This is like command, and then everything will be run. Okay, just one command. And another things I want to cover is like the Docker file. Docker file is very simple. So just get the basic Python package and pip install. This pip install is pip install our customized library, and then trigger the yum-com. So the yum-com here is like the, I mean, I just put the hard code here, like the every day will be run one time. So Okay, so I will give some running demo here. So yeah, this is the code. I mean, so currently I'm at the root code, root folder here. So after we pip install, we will install everything, include everything here. So okay, because our this package name is the demo and the version is 0.0.1. When we see pip list, we can find our library here. We can find our library here. So this is the library we have installed in our package Python. And one more thing I want to cover is the test utility. For example, I just want to test one function, okay? Test the deduplicate data. So it's easier. So what shall we do? We just need to put some dummy data frame for import and dummy output data frame. They should be a mismatch. And then we use this function after we install the PyTest. It will automatically help us to test the function which we defined. And we can see, okay, maybe a couple of the function have been passed. Easier for us to do the unit testing. Okay, so another part I want to cover is for the Docker part. So because we need to deploy, deploy Docker. So we need to build our main image. So this command is Docker image build. It just build our image. We can see there are a couple of steps here. The steps here is related to the steps in our Docker file. Okay, so each steps here, we can see here is like step 1. There are total 9 steps, and each of them will be followed. Okay, after we install Docker on our local, also we can push our image to the Docker hub. We can see here, we can doc image. You can see here, the demo is our new image. Okay, so then we can create a new container based on our image. The name is like Docker demo app. This is the container names, and the demo latest is our image name and the version. After we run it, okay, we can see here is like Docker PS. We can see our new Docker containers, like the VM, the lightweight VM. So let's log into here. This command is logging to our container. Okay, so currently it's in our container. You can see here is like everything here is everything here. We pass everything, we copy everything into our Docker image and build the container based on our image. So, and the one thing is like wait a moment, like what I see before. So currently, in our we just CD data, we have just one demo CSV. This is import. Okay, we just need to import the demo. This command. It will help us to to run the pipeline. So like the get data, get pass, retrieve data, deduplicate, generate the metrics. Okay, you can see here we have another output CSV here. The output CSV is generate like the whole pipeline here. And here is the output. So yeah, so this is basically is like the whole pipeline demo. We combine the Docker, combine the Python package and some DAG and cut off their information here. So yeah, this basically is some demo. So any question for demo for now?
Yeah, can we go back to the pipeline.py file?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. It may not have been this one. You guys, you imported it in another file. It's like
Here, the
yeah,
workflow.
there we go. That at pipeline task, I've not seen that before. That's pretty cool. But I mean, I like this. So this is how you're setting up your DAG by being able to basically. Okay.
It's like the Airflow kind of stuff, right? So
yeah, you mentioned Airflow. I've never seen a DAG in Python before, so this is new to me.
So what library is in there, Jiazhen, for that?
it's not the library. So it's not the library. It's just like the class, and we use the declarator to link the function together. So they can pass the return, they can pass the parameters, kind of things.
So that class, is that something you guys wrote?
Yeah, it's in pipeline.py, right?
Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
Can we go back to pipeline.py? Yeah, I think this is the class, David.
Okay. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yes, it's pretty simple class. Yes, true.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was kind of curious about the same thing, Sam. That caught my attention.
Yeah. Yeah, this is cool. So do you guys also use Airflow in addition to this?
Oh yeah. So this is just for the small task.
Okay.
For the large one, we are using the Airflow.
Yeah, I have not worked with DAGs just yet. We did have an Airflow.
So you're just using this though. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Oh, I was just gonna say we had an Airflow presentation 2 months ago. So like I'm familiar with Airflow, but I also write Python every day. So this is this is cool to see, how you can set this up in here.
So you're just essentially creating your own little framework for setting tasks in a DAG, right?
Yes, that's the things, and we just put everything together. So the key point for us is want to schedule very friendly, deploy friendly, and maintenance is friendly. So
someone asked if the demo code will be on GitHub.
Yeah, definitely. So everything here is like the resource. So this is the blog I write and covered all steps, which I covered before today's. So if you want to, go through one by one, you can go through by yourself. And this is the code. Everything code here will be pushed to the GitHub for here. So if you want, you can combine two, like the instruction and the code. You can play it by yourself. So
yeah, I was about to say another question popped up asking the advantages of the Python DAG versus Airflow, and yeah, I figure David also said that Python is a lot simpler for DAGs over Airflow, but it sounds like Airflow. I mean, Airflow has like integration with a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So Airflow, I mean, it's when you need to take care of the big things. The Airflow, because the Airflow have like the image, the UI, it can help you very friendly to control the DAG. So the code here is just a small code here is just if you have small project or if you want to implement something not very big, you can use this simple pipeline. So, but anyway, so for the Airflow, it's helped a lot.
Do you ever, Jiazhen, do you ever combine this with Airflow? Like, so in other words, run your Docker from Airflow or something like that?
Definitely, yes. So, for example, for the small piece of work, even for the big project, even for the big project, we have like small pipeline. So those kind of things can help us to do something like the small pipeline, and the Airflow can help us to monitor like the big. For example, Airflow can help us to monitor the workflows here. So can the little high level workflow. So yeah.
We got another question from Rupanjana. Will, I guess, referring to the Python DAG, will it be useful with large data sets or only smaller volume?
For what?
For the
I think
Python
she's asking like kind of what size data could you use this approach with? I mean, would this work with small data, big data?
Yeah, I mean, this approach will not impact by any data size. So for example, I mean, because everything here is replaceable. So everything here is, for example, currently I'm using the basic Python, right? So if you have big data, you can use like the Python Spark, PySpark. So if you have like the need more resource, you can put your Docker into much more resource and the speed will be up. So yeah.
Can we go back to the slide about the challenges that you've addressed? So it sounds like this is like some big organizational change. I can't imagine, you know, having to like convince my team to adopt any one of these. So how long would you say the process was from going from your previous, like the way you guys like tackled your tech and engineering to where you are right now?
It depends on, so there are two parts, right? So for example, we have currently we have like the huge pipeline. Okay, maybe we need to split it, or we can another one is like we create the pipeline from scratch. So for the first option is like the hardest part is how to split your largest pipeline into small pieces. Yeah, this is the hardest part for split. So because this one is based on all the requirement and the domain knowledge, so it's need to much more clear data lineage, because for the multi-lattice data pipeline, that means they don't have very clear data lineage. So it's much more, you take time to, you know, to clear and to deep dive into the whole code to make more clear for data lineage is much more important.
Were these old pipelines that have been like around for like years, or were they relatively new?
For which one? Sorry.
So like the, you know, splitting up the big monolithic pipeline, was that like an old pipeline? I can't imagine like picking up some developers' work from like 7 years ago and, you know, learning how to optimize it and split it up.
Yes, if you have like the good documentation, you can help you a lot. That can help you a lot. Or we have to deep dive the code itself.
So for like things like reusable components and testing, was it difficult to get your team to adopt those, like, you know, coding practices?
Yeah, so yeah, this is the point definitely we really want to adopt. So it's, for example, for the Python, if we have the same idea in our mind, is like the every function is like the reusable. So you will design the function very well. Okay, this function maybe just not for one-time usage. Okay, maybe when you design the function is like the multiple situation maybe can be handled by this function. This function is very useful. So I mean, definitely when you design your framework or function, just start to think about how can we reuse it. So when you have this idea, I think we can build the reuse function or component very, very quick. So yeah.
Looks like we got another question from BG. All right, he says, when passing data between tasks in a DAG, did you end up staging your data to the file system, or can you pass it directly between tasks?
Yeah, so Yeah, definitely. So we can pass the task, for example, for this queue function. Okay, they are linked together. So the first node is get raw data. The second node is clean data, and we link them together. And when we return it, you can see we return the raw data frame, and the clean data is get the raw data frame from the get raw data function. So yeah, they can pass the parameters. They can pass the parameters. If you don't want to pass parameter, it's still fine. So, or I recommend you, like, if you don't need to pass parameters, maybe you can pass the flag. For example, the status of this function. Okay, so if the status function is good to go, so that means, okay, next process can move forward. If it's the read, okay, maybe we will send emails, send anything to the DevOps, so we can control it. So does that answer the question?
PG, I think it answers the question. It makes sense.
Does. It does. Thanks. Thank you.
And I'm guessing that if you go back to that code, I think it's like the workflow. Yeah, so the code gets like, it interprets those at pipeline.task. That's when it like adds the task to the sort of queue. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, so yeah, the pipeline is this function here is just to add you can imagine add the function into the queue, like you mentioned, into the data lineage. So
cool. Any other questions, guys?
I was going to add that this is one thing that Airflow doesn't do well, like passing data between tasks.
Does Airflow have to like, I've never used it, but does it like cache it to a file system or index it somewhere?
Or,
no.
the way that we implement it, we're using staging areas basically.
Well, cool. That is good to know. Someone asked where we can access the resources. I saw those links that you had, Jiazhen.
Yeah.
If you want to, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. This Q resource, you can look at it, and no matter for the code or the blogs. So
cool. We can definitely comment those on the Medium post, or sorry, Meetup post. Your post was a Medium post, so I read that. So we can comment it on our event, and then basically everything will be wrapped up along with the video as well. Well, cool. Thank you for presenting. David, do we have anything else to announce? We have one event coming up next month. Our July event is an Apache Druid deep dive. I've never used Apache Druid, so this is going to be new for me, and I think it's going to be new for most of us here, the organizers at least. So I'm looking forward to that. Anything else, David?
No. Great to see everyone join today. Hello to all the usual folks, and good to see some new folks too. So I'm hoping, Sam, we can maybe do some sort of social thing. I don't know whether we do it virtually or not, but like you said, it'd be good to have like a time where we could hang out. So
yeah, I agree. I think that we'll start to throw on some ideas at some point. We'll probably have some chatter in the Slack to see what people are comfortable with. But other than that, I'll stop recording, and